10 years of dirt came off my driveway in a single afternoon, and it cost me $3. Not a rented machine, not a $300 service, not a weekend of scrubbing on my knees. $3 of powder from the grocery store. And the reason almost nobody knows this is that the entire cleaning industry has a strong financial interest in you, believing that a decade of embedded grime requires expensive equipment or expensive products. It doesn't. It requires the right chemistry, and that chemistry has been hiding in plain sight the whole time. To understand why a cheap powder pulls out 10 years of dirt when a pressure washer can't, you first have to understand where that dirt actually is. Concrete looks like solid stone, but structurally it's far closer to a hard sponge, threaded with microscopic pores running down into the material. Over a decade, every oil trace, every bit of pollen, every spore of mildew and algae, every speck of airborne dust soaks down into those pores and settles deep below the surface. So when a driveway looks like it's carrying 10 years of grime, that's exactly what's happening. 10 years of staining packed down into the sponge, sitting well beneath the reach of anything that scrubs or sprays across the top. That's why scrubbing lifts only the faint top film, and why pressure washing clears the surface but dries back to nearly the same gray days later. The dirt was never on top. It was always down in the pores, and that's precisely where these cheap products do their work. The heavy lifter is sodium percarbonate, which you already know as oxygen bleach, the powdered laundry booster people toss in with their whites. When it dissolves in warm water, it breaks into washing soda and hydrogen peroxide, and that peroxide releases active oxygen, a rush of oxygen molecules that don't sit on the surface but penetrate down into the porous structure, following the very paths the grime took to get in. Once they reach the embedded staining, they break apart the bonds holding the dirt together and anchoring it to the concrete. Scrubbing and pressure washing are mechanical and stuck at the surface. Active oxygen is chemical, dissolving the invisible glue holding the stain deep inside the material, and once that glue breaks, a decade of discoloration floats up and out of the pores. It isn't covering the dirt, it's pulling it back out of the sponge. And this exact powder gets sold as premium oxygenated concrete cleaner for $25, while the identical compound sits in the laundry aisle for a few bucks. Now, before we continue, if you're tired of wasting money on driveway cleaners that barely work, I wrote a 44-page guide called The Concrete Rescue Playbook. It covers the right way to remove oil, rust, moss, tire marks, and years of built-up dirt, plus simple pressure washing methods, stain guides, and a maintenance routine to help keep concrete looking clean. It's designed to help you get better results without damaging your driveway or buying products you don't need. My daughter helped me put it online, so the link below this video should work. All right, let's keep going. The second cheap product worth knowing is plain baking soda, sodium bicarbonate. Where oxygen bleach oxidizes organic staining, baking soda is a mild alkaline abrasive and a gentle degreaser. It's soft enough that it won't etch the surface, but its fine crystalline grit works loose surface grime, while its alkalinity breaks down light grease films settling into the top layer. For a walkway, a patio, or lighter everyday dinginess, it often handles the whole job for pennies. And it's the reassuring choice for anyone wary of stronger chemistry. The third is washing soda, sodium carbonate, baking soda's stronger, more alkaline cousin, and it's the one that matters when grease is the real enemy. That dark shadow under a parked car, the built-up film in a garage, the greasy patch by a grill, those are jobs where washing soda's higher pH cuts through oil far more aggressively than baking soda can. It's also, interestingly, part of what oxygen bleach breaks down into, which is why the two share so much of the same chemistry. Here's the thread tying all three together, and the reason nobody selling you a fancy bottle wants you to know it. These aren't knockoffs or lesser substitutes. They are the actual active ingredients inside the expensive products. Turn a $25 bottle of concrete cleaner around and read the fine print, and you'll find sodium percarbonate, sodium carbonate, or sodium bicarbonate staring back, the very same compounds sitting a few aisles over for $1. The concrete cannot read a label. It only responds to the chemistry, and the chemistry is identical whether it comes in a Driveway branded jug or a plain box. But knowing the products only tells half the story, because plenty of people have tried these on concrete, come away underwhelmed, and decided they don't work. The reason almost always traces to a couple of quirks in how the chemistry behaves. Oxygen bleach in particular is strikingly sensitive to warmth. In cold water, the reaction is sluggish, and most of the active oxygen stays locked inside the granules, dormant, never releasing, which is why so many people watch nothing happen and assume the powder is weak. It isn't weak, it's asleep. Warmth is what wakes it, and the faint cloudiness that appears as it dissolves is the reaction coming to life. There's also the matter of time, and this is where the chemistry defies expectations. Active oxygen works through a window of roughly 20 minutes, migrating into the pores, reaching the trapped grime, and severing the bonds anchoring it, all of it happening invisibly beneath a surface that appears to be doing nothing at all. That silent stretch is the single biggest reason people give up, walking away convinced it failed at the exact moment it's doing its most important work. The one thing that genuinely shuts it down is the solution drying out, because dry powder stops reacting. And when it runs its course, the payoff is dramatic, especially on a driveway carrying a full decade of buildup. The loosened grime floats up, and the runoff runs brown and gray, thick with 10 years of embedded filth streaming out of the concrete. That murky water is the buried dirt finally leaving the material, and the slab behind it is often several shades lighter, the true original color emerging from beneath all that accumulated darkness, looking like it was poured years more recently than it was. There's also a reason a gentle rinse finishes better than brute force. Once the powders have floated the grime loose, an ordinary garden hose carries it away with ease, while high-pressure machines etch and scar the surface and open even more pores for future grime to settle into, which is a big part of why aggressively pressure-washed driveways seem to get dirty faster each passing year. The cheap chemistry restores the surface. The brute force slowly wears it down. Let me be fair, because pressure washing and professional services aren't scams. They offer real convenience, and for people who don't want to learn any of this, that convenience carries genuine value. The point is only that the cleaning power itself isn't special or expensive. It's a few dollars of powder running the exact same chemistry as the $25 bottle and the $300 service call. That service runs a few $100s, and these powders reach the same 10 years of staining it leaves buried for pocket change and about 20 minutes of mostly waiting. Your driveway doesn't care what you spent. It only cares about the chemistry doing the work. So a decade of dirt that I'd assumed was permanent came out of my driveway for the price of a candy bar, and the concrete underneath looked like it did the year it was poured. If this opened your eyes to what's really inside those overpriced bottles, subscribe for more and check out my ebook linked in my bio.